on the last episode of Canary Wharf.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Matthew, have you ever lived with anyone before?
Me? No, not per se.
Neither have I. Well, per se. I did sort of, for a few weeks, in a bus.
A bus?
Yeah, he was a traveller. He had a bus.
Oh, good. What were you arguing about?
It doesn't matter. But anyway, you know, I was telling you about the flat and
yeah.
how things were moving around and I didn't like it.
Yeah, and I offered if you'd like to come and stay at my place, just while you're sorting everything out.
That's right. Well...
You've changed your mind? Oh, Jenny, that's brilliant. Your argument, it wasn't because of...
It was.
I think I'd better think about this.
Don't be so wet.
I will be literally wet if Max finds out. He threatened to throw me in the river, remember?
Matthew, don't worry. You know, he's done a lot of growing up since then.
But you were arguing because you said you wanted to move in with me, right? And he didn't like it.
That's right.
Having previously threatened to drown me in the dock if I so much as looked at you.
That's it.
Can we not just live near each other?
You know, you're a big scaredy cat. You're frightened of my dad.
That's rubbish.
Yeah.
Don't mean to intrude, but we're trying to find out who wants to volunteer to go up in the flying saucer and who doesn't. Have you discussed it yet?
Yes, but Matthew doesn't believe a word of it. You know, I've tried to tell him. I've even read in the books. But no, his eyes are still shut.
Well, it's...
Yeah, well, Sarah doesn't believe it either. But she says if it happens, she'll come. Why don't you two do the same?
Well, working on the principle that if the ground opens up beneath me, I'll fall into a hole. So I agree to be kidnapped by aliens and taken off to a distant planet for the next couple of centuries. Satisfied?
You could be a little more gracious about it.
Good. That's 2 more volunteers. We'd better go. We've got a lot of people to see.
Come in.
Andrea, we're here on a matter of great sensitivity.
I'll spit it out, I'm busy.
Well, it's about the psychic phenomenon that I was called in to interpret. I've come to some conclusions, and I think it's time you heard them.
God, I've heard nothing but this rubbish for the past few days. Spaceships, sailing ships, lights in the sky. It's a wonder you get any bloody work done.
It's true, Andrea.
What is?
You tell her, Ryan.
Me?
Yeah, you're better at it than me.
Well, a spaceship is coming to take your staff. They need 76 people to replace the crew of a sailing ship that was found off Spain in 1793. And they're going to take them to a distant planet.
They'll be gone quite a long time. But you won't notice that they're missing, because they'll be back straight away.
So we wondered if you might like to come with us as a volunteer.
I sit here all day, trying to work out how to get this company out of the hole it's dug itself into. And with my other hand, I'm trying to produce a television show. And I expect my staff to take their fair share of the burden.
This is important.
Instead of which, I find them conjuring up spirits and playing with Ouija boards. And then they have the gall to come and throw it in my face.
We need you to come with us. If we don't make up the full complement of 76 souls, terrible things may happen.
Terrible things will happen to you if you don't get out of this building now. And if you ever come back, you'll wish the aliens had taken you, because nothing they could ever do to you would be 1/10 as horrible as what I've got in mind. Now get out!
Shall we take that as a no, then?
receiving another message.
Ryan said there'd be another one. A vital one.
Come on. Jason! God!
Something's gone really wrong.
What?
Look.
What a dreadful mess. What do you think it means?
I don't know. Come on.
Where are you going?
I've got to go and get Ryan. He'll know what to do. Come on.
I really don't know why we're wasting our time. We're just sitting around waiting for the axe to fall.
You never know. Something will turn up.
No. On January the 2nd, Belgrave's debts fall due. And from that moment on, our debts will far exceed our equity, which means it'll be illegal to continue trading. The receivers will come in, and the sharks will tear the place apart.
Well, there's still a chance. Annie's working on it.
Why doesn't that inspire me with confidence?
Yeah, Annie's a lot smarter than you give her credit for. She's done brilliantly since Michael went away.
Is that why we're in such a terrible mess?
I don't think you could have done any better.
Well, that's your opinion.
Well, what would you have done?
Oh, nothing, maybe.
You know, the only reason I've stayed here is because of Annie.
Oh, me too, absolutely.
You sure? I've always suspected an ulterior motive.
Oh, what could that possibly be?
Your daughter, Claudia.
Claudia? That hateful little bitch.
You know, despite outward appearances, Andrea, I still think that you've got maternal instincts deep down inside.
Oh, piffle, what would you know?
I've got a daughter of my own, remember? It's hard to turn your back on them, however hateful they be.
Max, forget the armchair psychology. Stick to what you know.
Oh, well, I can't sit here gossiping all day with a hired help. I've got work to do. Fancy a drink later?
Yeah, if you're buying.
Me buying?
Well, yes, I'm the hired helper. I've got no money.
Yeah, but I'm the boss.
Exactly.
Ryan, Chantal, look at this.
Jason's received another message.
Yeah, and after he'd finished writing, he just dropped the pen, slammed it down, and ran off.
I've never seen anybody run so fast.
My God, this is amazing. There are 4 different types of handwriting. They must have broken through from another dimension. Look, Van Dorn's cut off mid-word. To uplift the pilot and cast lines from the center.
And this next person here.
Yeah.
The knife in the black water and the man soon to return.
No, that's a different script now. The crime of Java and vengeance not to be denied. And then finally, in a different hand, I would have tied you by the neck or made it 3. And where's Jason?
Oh, we don't know.
I know whose that handwriting is.
Which bit?
There, the crime of Java, and
Well, whose handwriting is it?
it's Charles Belgrave.
No, it's a Sydney number. Thank you. Hi, Dad. Sorry to waken you up. Bad news, I'm afraid. I'm coming home. I'll be taking the next flight, an indirect one, because I think they'll be watching the airports. And I'm coming home, with or without the videotape. Yeah, well, better one loose end than being done for the lot. It's easy for you to say, but it's not your neck that's on the line, Dad. All right. I'll make one last try, and that's it. Whether it works or not, I'm out of here tomorrow.
So is she right, then? Is this Belgrave's writing?
Undoubtedly. Look at this letter he sent to Max. Couldn't be anyone else.
What is the crime of Java, then, and why must it be avenged?
What's it got to do with the Bosphorus?
Oh, I don't think it has, Chantal. It's just that he butted in. His message became stronger in Jason's mind at that point than Van Dorn's.
Do you think they're trying to get messages through to us?
Well, perhaps. What really worries me is that they seem to be able to block out Van Dorn. That could be very dangerous.
Why?
Van Dorn's expecting us to keep up our end of the deal. He's just brought 76 men back to Earth. If he can't contact us to fix things, he's not likely to just turn round and go back to outer space.
And why should that be so dangerous?
They'll just plow through here regardless of the consequences. They could create a cosmic rip.
What will that do?
Suffice to say, it'll destroy us and everything around here. We must find Jason. He can't be allowed to disappear. We have to find the end of Van Dorn's message.
Oh, Annie, have you seen Jason?
No. Why? What's happened? Oh, no, nothing's happened. It's okay. It's just... We've got this writing here. We've just got to find out what it means. That's not Jason's writing.
No, indirectly it is. He was guided by 4 other people. Do you recognize any of the handwriting?
Charles Belgrave. I've seen his writing before.
Yeah, any others?
The knife in Blackwater.
Yes.
That's Michael's.
Don't go on about her, Max.
I've only mentioned her twice this week. That hardly constitutes going on about her.
You've got daughters on the brain. What's the problem? Yours giving you jip?
A little. She wants to move in with Matthew Walgrave.
Oh, is that all? Well, to my sure knowledge, my daughter has slept with most of the male members of the staff.
Now who's talking about Claudia?
Shut up, Max. I'm just trying to illustrate a point. I don't give a damn about Claudia. I don't care whether she lives, dies, or who she sleeps with.
So you say.
And if I may make so bold, I would be grateful if you didn't tell me to shut up, especially in front of the staff. It undermines my authority.
Your authority? And what authority is that, pray?
I am Chief Executive of Belgrave Broadcasting. You work for me.
Don't make me laugh. Authority's not something you put on like a jacket. You have to earn it. You have to work for it. You've got a fat chance.
That's unfair, Andrea. I could sack you.
Oh, shut up, Max. Look, who cares who's in charge? This company's going down the pan. In a couple of weeks, nobody will be in charge of anything.
All I said was, stop telling me to shut up.
All right. If you can't handle it.
Max trying to be masterful again.
Yes, he is such a martinet.
Look, I'm going to see Jenny. She does what I tell her to do some of the time. Try getting your daughter to consult with you when she's moving in with somebody. Cheers.
Offspring trouble.
That's a silly bloody question. No, he's got the hump because Jenny's moving in with Matthew Wargrave and he doesn't like it, so he's taking it out on me, accusing my daughter of being a slut, which of course she is.
Claudia?
Well, no other daughter springs immediately to mind.
Oh, calm down. I thought you got over finding out that she was your daughter by now.
Nothing to get over. Don't even think about it.
Not ever.
Well, perhaps once in a while. I just wonder how anyone with such a genetically enviable background to end up so warped. One word out of you and I'll break this bottle over your head.
Fancy a drink?
Yes, please.
And your mother says I can come back and live in the house again, as long as I behave myself. I don't know what she means by that.
Yeah, she told me, and you know perfectly well what she means by that.
What?
Dad, if you're going to be there, you have to be there. Not just occasionally or at weekends or when it suits you. You know, you've got responsibilities as a husband and a father.
Oh, is that all?
That was too much for you the last time.
Oh, well, Jenny, stop lecturing me. You sound like your mother.
You're glad to be going back, aren't you?
Oh, I'm ecstatic, yeah. Everything seems as if it's coming right again. I can't wait to go home.
But what if there really is a UFO? Will you go? I mean, you'll be away for 200 years. You'll miss Mummy, won't you?
I'll miss Mummy terribly, but, you know, I really think that being kidnapped by aliens is just a particularly juicy figment of Chantal's fevered imagination. It won't happen.
Don't be too sure.
Well, if it happens, I'll be back the same time as I go, so as far as Chloe's concerned, I won't have been away, will I?
Yeah, that's true. But you'll know, won't you? I mean, you'll be separated from Mummy for 2 centuries.
If these aliens do come along and offer to take us away, will you go with them?
Yeah, of course I will. And so will Matthew. And we'll live together happily among aliens for nearly 200 years. So you better start getting used to the idea.
I better come along and keep an eye on you, hadn't I?
Mummy would like that.
Yes, she would.
Thank God he's gone.
You can't hide from him forever, you know. You have to face him sometime. Especially as you might be spending the next 200 years together.
I think I'd rather be kidnapped by aliens than have to face Max. Although the prospect of either doesn't exactly fill me with relish.
But don't worry, I'll protect you. From the aliens and from Daddy.
So,
When are you moving in?
As soon as you've made your peace with Daddy.
Oh, can't we leave him out of this? It's you who's moving in, not him.
Well, you never know. The aliens may lump us all together and then you'll have to get on.
No, you'll get bored of me after 200 years.
Probably. And you won't like me either.
So, do you age at all when you're kidnapped by aliens?
No, of course not. It says so in the books. Everyone who's come back is the same age as when they left.
So, you'll be 18 for 200 years.
Yeah, that's right.
What do you do on your birthday?
Annie? Annie? You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I've been talking to Max. He says you've made headway sorting out the company's debts. Is that right? Well, I've looked at the papers, and to be honest, you're not going to be able to pull this off. The company's broke.
Yes, but Michael would have done it.
Well, Michael's run away. You don't have to do anything for his sake.
Yes, I do. I owe him.
No, you don't. You don't owe him anything. He's left you holding the baby.
Exactly. I'm pregnant. I think Michael's dead. I think he's been murdered.
On the next episode of Canary Wharf.
Then she burst into tears and said she thought Michael had been murdered.
Who does she think killed him?
She wouldn't say, but she knows who murdered Charles Belgrave, but she wouldn't tell me that either.
She's been going on about saving the company by making some kind of deal with the devil, but she won't explain anything.
Well, I don't think she's playing with a full deck. I mean, she must be in shock. Think about it. She's running this company. She thinks her husband's been murdered, and she's pregnant.
Is she?
Well, that's what she says. She told me that she feels she's got nobody to talk to and she's got to sort out all the problems herself because that's what Michael would have wanted.
I don't know what we can do to help her.
Well, I suggested she dump the company. Give it to Claudia before she knows it's bankrupt. Let her have the hassle.
And will she?
I don't know. I don't think she took me seriously. She just laughed. But she might if you mentioned it.
But then we'd both be working for Claudia. Have you thought about that?
Oh, no, I wouldn't. I'd just leave.
That might be a good idea. Yeah, I'll mention it to Annie. What are we going to do about Michael's supposed death?
Well, I phoned the police. There's no evidence, though, but they are taking it seriously.
That's Belgrave. Michael Smale. It seems that whoever heads this company is a target.
All the more reason for Annie to give it to Claudia as soon as possible.
Yeah, but Claudia's your daughter. What if she's killed too?
No skin off my nose.
Oh, Max, where are you going? You couldn't give me a lift, could you?
Well, I'm just popping to the flat, pick up some things. I'm moving back in with Chloe, you know.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, great, it's on the way.
Come on, then.
Oh, and I'll tell you what you should do when the spaceship lands.
Oh, that's great. Yes, I really need to know about that. What's in the envelope?
These are the toxicology reports on Belgrave's death.
What do they say?
I'll tell you in the car. Come on.
Well, pass the time.
I don't believe you.
It's true. I went up to his office and they told me he was looking for you.
Yeah, I'll bet. You're just avoiding the issue, Matthew.
No, I promise. I'd face a cage of tigers if it meant you moving in with me.
You wouldn't face a cage of mice.
Well, small ones I would.
Oh, my God. I was meant to drive Dad to the flat to pick up his stuff. That's why he's looking for me.
Get a taxi.
No, come on. We've got to find him. He'll be cross.
Oh, perfect.
Come on.
Standard Epson-Pritikin test, valued constituents are sublethal in all regimes.
What the hell does that mean?
Oh, no, listen, there's got to be some clues here. Subsection 4, myelodrin, blood level 7 parts per billion. EP test establishes sufficient to cause disorientation and degradation of motor function in subject.
Well, that sounds like what made Charles stagger and fall.
Uncommon, extracted from neck glands of 2 species of Asian toad. Only known application, tips of poison arrows used by tribesmen in Indonesia. Tribesmen in Indonesia?
Oh, my God. Max, stop the car!
What? Why?
Just stop the car!
What's the matter?
Just stop the car and turn around!
God, that's where he got it.
What?
Jason, he must have killed Charles Belgrave. He got the poison from his man in Indonesia. Oh, my God, just start driving! If he's killed Charles Belgrave, he's bound to kill again.
So, what do you want me to do?
Sign this.
You've got it all figured out.
You just live up to the agreement. I don't want anything else.
$500 million in return for my freedom. I'd say that was quite a bargain, wouldn't you? Now my video, please. Quite a clever one, aren't you? Is this the only copy?
Yes.
Wouldn't try to double-cross me now, would you?
You just live up to your side of the bargain and I'll live up to mine.
One momentary indiscretion, at least to this. Who would have thought the boss would have a camera down there, eh?